So if you're struggling to get your chord changing speed up, it's probably because you're playing the wrong versions of the chords when you're like first trying out. Like your proper G chord is gonna be fingered like this. Then your C chord, E minor is just, and then D. So, but it's kind of hard to switch between those. So what I do instead is, you're probably familiar with like the G at 9, where you like put your pinky, your ring finger, your index finger goes on the B note here on the A string, and G. And then you can just go to the C at 9. But I would even simplify that more, where I don't even use my index finger at all. So I would just go, and you can just mute that note. You don't need it. It's not really helping anything. And then go to the C, just move your finger up one more, and you mute the D string. And then for the, if you want to play a D, I would just not, it's basically you're never moving these two fingers. That'll help you get your speed up. G, C, and then the D, I would just play a D suspended. So if I want to go G, C, D. I mean, there's of course a limit to how fast you can play it, but you never need to do it that quick. And for E minor, you just keep those two, your ring finger and pinky finger, they stay there. And then I use just my index finger here, and I cover the A and D strings. So I'll try and get that out of the way. With my index finger, so I'd cover these two strings with just my flat finger, and it just makes an E minor 7 chord. But keeping these two fingers down here planted makes it a whole lot easier to transition to there than like the normal way. Instead, you can just go to the C, to the D, back to the G, to the C. Basically, what you're trying to do is just move as little as you can while still making the chord. That's what you gotta think about. So right here, for all these, I'm only moving one finger at a time. And you have the ability to like play the entire like G major scale kind of thing through the chords while like barely ever moving your bottom two fingers here. So I start with a G, G over A, G over B, C, D, E minor. That's a D over F sharp, which is probably the trickiest one to get a hold of. Back to G. So that's every chord I'm ever really gonna have to play, especially in worship music. You're never gonna need any more than that. So if I wanna play in B, I just move my capo up. So every chord I'll need, you have 7 options there. Or if you wanted to play in C, you just go capo 5. Playing in D, you go capo 7. And you don't really want to play higher than that. So you can play capo 9 in the key of E. It's gonna start sounding like a ukulele though. But if that's all you can do, then you got it. I mean, playing an G, like F sharp up here is gonna be kind of silly. I don't think you can do this without a cutaway guitar. So if I were you, what I would do is just try and play in like a couple keys. You're gonna play G, open. If you need it a little bit higher, you can go to A, capo 2. That still sounds great. And I probably wouldn't, I'd just try not to go any higher than D. But to go back through the chord shapes, and it's just the simplest thing you can do. You just play your G, just mute that A string. You don't need this A string at all. Just move your one finger to go up to C. Take that off and move to the D. If you want to go E minor, you just move that one finger to cover these two strings here. And that's all you really need for acoustic guitar. So just practice those shapes, practice moving them seamlessly. But again, like the less you can move between chords, the quicker it'll be and the cleaner it's going to sound. So that's what I do.